Well, everyone, it's officially that time of year where we'll be visiting beaches, pools, and anything near the water, and it's very important to learn all the safety measures that you need to know in order to stay safe. Here with me today is William Grosgrit. He is a rescue swimmer. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Happy to be here.
Oh, of course. Well, we're happy to have you. First things first, let's learn about everything that you do here in the Coastal Bend.
All right, great. So, as a Coast Guard rescue swimmer, usually work in a team of 4 people. I have a pilot, co-pilot, and a flight mech, and our job is to cover our section of the Gulf and everything from here to Mexico, almost up to Houston, and we keep everyone safe on the waterways, and we get out there with our helicopter.
Love it, love it. And obviously you're all about keeping people safe. Now, why do you think it is important that people learn about safety procedures when they're near the water?
So great. So as inviting and relaxing as the beach really is, can also be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So I'd say keeping an eye on children, making sure they have their life jackets on, their parents are always watching and staying vigilant, knowing when you've had too much alcohol to drink in order to swim, and staying away from those rip currents, heavy seas, and jetties that cause injury every year. So.
Exactly, that's a huge problem here in the coast especially. Now, for children and families that are near the pool, what advice do you have for them?
Well, I'd say, depending on how old your kid is, parents usually know, so, but wearing a life jacket or those arm floaties usually help out. Watching the deep end, if they're not wearing that, just keeping an eye out on things. Knowing the basics on how to swim and teaching your kid that is really important.
Exactly, but most importantly, keeping an eye on your children is always key. And like I mentioned, a huge problem here in South Texas in our Coastal Bend is beaches, especially with those rip currents. So what kind of advice can you share with those that visit our beaches, especially for those who enjoy going in the water?
Yeah, so keeping an eye out. You can go on YouTube or Google and look up what a rip current looks like. It's usually water coming in at an angle, and you can kind of see a stream going outwards. So if a young child or even an adult gets caught in that, it's going to suck them out into the ocean. And learning how to deal with that is really important. Those are pretty dangerous. They cause drownings.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, is there a certain way to, as soon as you know that's taking place, I hear if you start swimming right away, that's probably the worst thing to do. So I hear, you kind of have to let it take you a little bit, and then just kind of as soon as you have the strength, just trying to get out of it after a while. How does that work?
Yeah, exactly. So you have the right idea. The mistake they make is they try to ride against it. They try swimming towards the beach. Well, it's kind of like if you were to run against a treadmill, you're not going to get anywhere. So kind of letting it take you out and then hopping off either left or right whenever the possibility arises, I guess.
All right, wonderful. And for those who are doing any boating or out on the water, what kind of safety procedures do you have in mind for them?
Oh, that's a great idea. So make sure you have all your life jackets, fire extinguisher, your flares are really important. That's how we're going to identify if you're in distress. Always make sure the plug is in your boat. That's a silly thing, but we run into that all the time. And, just making sure you don't overload the boat is the biggest thing. The Coast Guard usually has a sticker on the boat that lets you know the maximum capacity, and following that's very important.
All right, William. Well, where could we go for more information for those who want to learn more?
Well, usually maybe on our Coast Guard website we might have some information, and just watching some explanation videos on the stuff we talked about today on Google or YouTube is a great way to learn about rip currents, how to avoid rip currents near jetties, and how to keep your kids safe during heavy seas and everything else. So.
Yes, exactly. Very important, especially this time of year. Well, William, thank you again for meeting with me today and for keeping our community safe and for everything that you do and for covering such an amazing or very important topic like today.
Yeah, well, happy to do it, and have a great summer and stay safe, everybody.